The M1 Carbine was a well-liked firearm during World War II, Korea, and even Vietnam. However, in the movies, it doesn't always get the same attention as the powerful M1 Garand or the Thompson submachine gun, used by comic book heroes, beloved science fiction characters, and even the King of Pop. However, it would be the unimposing M1 Carbine that would be the most produced small arm for the American military during World War II, and also one of the most successful. Just ask the Apes.
If there's any more shooting, Dr. Zayas, you'll be the first to go. You can count on it.
Taylor, you are not in command here. Put down that gun.
Shut up.
Just over 6.1 million M1 Carbines would be manufactured during the war, compared to 5.4 million M1 Garands and 1.3 million Thompson submachine guns. This is an amazing production feat, considering the weapon was only developed in 1941. Production was one of the greatest qualities of this weapon, costing only $45 a rifle, compared to $85 for a Garand, or a staggering $225 for a Thompson.
I'm going to get your money for you. But if you don't get the President of the United States on that phone, you know what's going to happen to you?
What?
You're going to have to answer to the Coca-Cola Company.
The ammunition was also significantly cheaper than the .30-06 ammunition used by the Garand. The .30 caliber carbine ammunition was cheap, easy to transport, and most importantly, easy to carry. M1 carbines often had magazine pouches on the stock, holding 2 spare 15-round magazines. An M1 carbine weighed less than 6 pounds loaded, or just about half that of a Garand, or the surprisingly heavy Thompson. The .30 carbine was a middle ground cartridge. It's easy to call this cartridge wimpy, compared to the Garand's large .30-06. But the .30 carbine had more than twice the energy of a .45 ACP Thompson round at 100 yards. The M1 carbine was impressive for its size. It's important to remember that initially, this rifle was created to replace pistols used by support troops. The carbine would give significant firepower to numerous roles such as mortar teams, radio men, or anyone carrying a rocket launcher.
I knew you'd get me killed! They cut us right in two. What's his name again?
In May of 1942, the M1A1, with the folding stock, would be adopted by American paratroopers, and it was highly popular amongst these overloaded men due to its light weight and small size.
Bars, charms, candy, powder, coffee, sugar, matches, compass, bayonet, entrenching tool, ammunition, gas mask, reset bag with ammo, my webbing, my 45 can.
By the end of World War II, the M2 carbine would be introduced, which sought to give more automatic fire to a weapon that was seeing far more frontline usage than anticipated.
This seems to be a bit of a problem. A bit.
Fortunately, converting an M1 to an M2 was a simple task, requiring little change and used the same receiver. In fact, the majority of M2s are converted M1s. Often M2s have a 30-round magazine, but these magazines could be used with M1s as well. The M2 was used significantly after World War II in Korea and around the world, even notably by characters such as Che Guevara.
Tamayo, ¿qué pasó?
In Korea, M1s and M2s would be used both by Korean and American soldiers. In Vietnam, they were still used in limited numbers by American troops, but tens of thousands would still be used by the Army of the Republic of Vietnam.
Ask him where his friends are.
The M1 was also popular at home in America, with police departments. It was accurate but had less power to penetrate beyond its target. It was also small enough to store in a vehicle or use indoors, which was ideal in urban environments. There are several significant historical figures who do carry M1 carbines in film. Audie Murphy historically used an M1 while holding off German forces in Alsace, France, as represented in Hell and Back. He eventually jumped on a burning tank and held off the German advance for an hour. This action earned him the Medal of Honor.
Take Ranny, envelop right, give covering fire.
In Band of Brothers, Sergeant Lipton would earn a Bronze Star for his actions with an M1 carbine. Lipton climbed a tree with his M1 during the Brecourt Manor assault in the opening days of the Normandy invasion. From here, Lipton was able to suppress a machine gun nest, allowing for a trench to be successfully charged and attacked by grenades. The assault disabled some of the guns, firing on troops landing and assembling on the French beaches.
This is all that's made it.
The M1 carbine is also heavily featured in HBO's The Pacific, used primarily by Eugene Sledge, a mortarman, as well as occasionally by Merrill Snafu Shelton. But most notably, the M1 carbine was used by John Basilone at Iwo Jima, who received the Navy Cross for his actions in guiding a tank through a minefield and destroying an enemy blockhouse.
As long as you make them out of paper.
Of course, I can't discuss the M1 carbine without mentioning Carbine Williams from 1952. The film loosely follows the life of David Marshall Williams, who designed the gas system used in the carbine, with his work beginning during his imprisonment. It's an interesting story, but expect more of a prison narrative than anything historical or technical that gives proper credit to the rifle's design team.
It's good work, but that's not the question. There'll be no test.
But I found out how to make a gun 5 pounds lighter than any other gun's ever been made before. You see what this would mean in war?
So was the M1 carbine a good rifle? Absolutely. When you consider its objective was to provide a light, defensive weapon for support troops, and it went well beyond that, being loved by paratroopers fighting in urban settings, or by Marines humping equipment through island jungles. Logistics is where this rifle truly wins.
Keep him here, Gunny. I gotta find second platoon.
Aye, aye, sir.
Hillbilly!
The M1 carbine was easy to ship, haul, and manufacture, just as same its ammunition. This was essential for a nation fighting in fronts up to 5,000 miles away.
Places called Guam, Wake, Malay Peninsula, Hong Kong, Philippine Islands were also attacked.
Alright, I'm Johnny. Thanks for watching this quick brief on the M1 carbine and its use in the movies. I hope to see you in the next video, and have a nice day.
Who's doing the shooting?